Teach like a language pro. How to keep students motivated to learn English. When we talk about motivation to learn English, what does that mean? It refers to the level of effort individuals are willing to put forth in language acquisition, as well as their capacity to persist throughout the learning process. In order to maintain students' motivation to learn English, we must ensure their willingness to devote effort and resources in spite of the lengthy learning. We recognize the seriousness of academic success and the need for diligence and rigorous thought. Each of us faces challenges and difficulties on our learning journeys, and there may be moments when we feel tempted to give up. As children develop physically and mentally, these challenges are multiplied by their early stages of development. Even highly motivated students sometimes suffer from boredom or reach a learning plateau. To understand L2 second language motivation, we need to consider many factors and try to explain how people behave. While motivation in language learning is difficult to define precisely, most researchers agree that it includes effort, persistence, and choice. In the long history of L2 motivation research, experts divided it into three phases: social psychological, cognitive situated, and process-oriented. According to social psychological research on L2 motivation, integrativeness, or positive attitudes toward linguistic cultural communities, is crucial for language learning success. For instance, a learner studying English may aim not only for academic reasons, but also to connect with and understand the English-speaking community, seeking cultural integration. As part of the cognitive situated phase, researchers used practical strategies from mainstream psychology to increase student motivation in language learning. Using Crookes and Schmidt's model, teachers could boost motivation by considering student interests, engaging activities, and the teacher's role. For example, you can motivate students by including songs and movies they like in lessons or creating interesting, interactive activities or games. However, later research revealed that it's not just about these immediate classroom factors. Understanding that language acquisition requires persistence and time commitment, the focus shifted to understanding the temporal dimension. As L2 motivation evolves, strategies to address its multifaceted nature are being developed. Researchers such as Ashiota and Dernier studied how motivation changes over time during language learning during the process-oriented phase. Ashiota found that past experiences, whether positive or negative, impact motivation. As we've all heard, success in learning can motivate us to achieve even more. Motivation is also influenced by future goals. If someone enjoys traveling or meeting new people, they stick with language learning. Dernier and Otto's theoretical model, based on action control theory, breaks down motivation into phases. Initial desires become goals, then intentions, leading to action and final evaluation. Take a moment to consider your students in a classroom setting. How many of your students are highly motivated to learn English? If so, what motivates them? Do they learn a language because they love English culture? Is the lesson interesting to them? Have your students had unhappy learning experiences in the past that prevented them from being motivated to learn English? With this knowledge, you will be able to identify whether your students are motivated and what you can do to motivate them. So, tip number 1. Set an example as being motivated by getting to know your student's interest and how it can be incorporated into ISLA. The researchers also found that motivations can be influenced by a number of factors, and they have provided some more helpful teaching tips. Tip number 2. Students benefit from targeted interventions in terms of their future visions as language users. Therefore, it's imperative to create visions of the goals you would like to achieve with your students. Tip number 3. Students' intended efforts are greatly influenced by group cohesiveness. The dynamics of a group are crucial since classmates can either motivate or demotivate based on their behavior. Therefore, teachers should be aware of the group dynamic processes, how they can help hinder the learning processes. Finally, there's also a concept known as demotivation in the context of Instructed Second Language Acquisition (ISLA). This happens when initially motivated learners lose motivation during language learning. In addition to internal factors such as self-confidence and conflicts with teachers, external factors such as ISLA's teaching methods and learning tasks can also contribute to demotivation. So, tip number 4. Do not be afraid of demotivation. It will happen in the classroom. Try raising students' awareness and show how they can turn demotivation around and motivate themselves. Teach like a language pro.